just going to cover each eye, okay? And this might make the dot hop around a little bit. Does the dot hop or is it staying still?
It moves.
Is it going up and down or side to side?
Side to side.
Okay. Now I'm just going to take a measurement. Just look into my open eye for me. That's it, that one. Back again. Back once more. Right. And again, any better with one? Or with two?
One, yeah.
One's a bit better, yeah?
Yeah, one's much better now.
Okay, just going to have a look at the outside of your eyes first. What can you manage down to for me?
You are on the top.
Mm-hmm.
U-E-N.
Mm-hmm.
Then U-E-N.
So this is the optic nerve. The optic nerve is what takes all the information off to the brain and turns it into an image for us. It's also known as the blind spot.
Okay.
Because it's just neural tissue, there's no photoreceptors there at all. So thankfully we don't see this big area of nothing in our vision because our brain fills it in nicely for us.
Breathe in and out for me. Little drop, light push. Good. Now that was more in the middle back, sort of between T2 and about T5. Nice way of releasing the pressure here. That helps you already naturally sink the shoulder blades back rather than hiking them up, which is causing these ones to get tight. Over time, and like I said with you, this is very, very minor, I'm starting to see this kind of posture pattern developing, where you're quite tight in your lower back muscles, and as a result, like you said, it feels like your shoulders are a little bit uneven and a little bit rounded. Again, that could be from carrying heavy bags, it could be from carrying young kids, you know, we've kind of ruled that out with you. But with some patients, and again, this would be more a factor if you have this issue and you spend a lot of time on your feet, which you mentioned you don't, if you're wearing the wrong kind of footwear, it can also develop as well. So it's not something I would expect you to worry about at all, but it's worth telling you since obviously you've come in today as well. But the next adjustment I'm going to do is the really key one with you. It's called a CT adjustment, and it will release the pressure much more here where these knots have kind of developed into these muscles. This is where the bulk of the muscle is, and then what happens is the tendons of those muscles are the ones that pull on the neck and create a lot of pressure in the neck. So I'm just going to release through here and here, okay? Again, can be a little bit nervous first time getting this area adjusted, but it will be nice and safe, I promise. Ready? Lift your head for me, and just give your head a little bit of a twist and a turn. Try and relax your head there. Ready?
痛い針やったら右手上げてください。はい。
背中ってなんで凝るんですか？
なんで凝るか？これはね、でも確かこれは姿勢かな。ミリサさんの場合はちょっと猫背気味になってるかもしれない。日常的に。ゆっくり吐いて、そう。吐いて脱力。鼻からゆっくり吸って、そんなね目いっぱい一生懸命吸わなくて OK。吐いて脱力。もう一度ゆっくり吸って、吐いてリラックス。そう。
So this is your optic nerve here. Well, the vessels go out the back of your eye, so it's really sharp actually. It's a good image. Basically, with glaucoma, you have an increased pressure in the middle of your eye, and that causes damage to the optic nerve at the back of your eye.
Okay.
and it affects the thickness of the nerve fibre layer on your optic nerve. And if that thickness gets damaged and gets thinner, then you get a loss of visual field. So you start losing areas of your vision. So this is the button here.
Okay.
Press there. And I can move this up and down. So you need to put your right eye in there first.
Yeah.
And then close your left eye, and you can use you use your finger just to hold your lid if you want, whatever's more comfortable. And you see there's a dot in the middle there.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is the layers of your retina. So if we slide through it, each beep when it was taking the scan was a cross section through it, and then it creates this block which we can look at. And then in a minute we'll get to the centre of your macula there. So that's where the detailed vision is. So if we look from above, that's where it dips. So the centre of that cross is you looking straight ahead, and then you're sort of 30 degrees to the left, right, and up and down.
Okay.
So, and it's testing areas within your visual field. And if you miss a spot, then it highlights it. So if we slide this over here, so this is a cross section through there of the thickness of the nerve fibre layer. So you see as I drag this over, it's a different cross section all the way around. And this is it mapped out, showing the thickness. And then over here, it shows the quadrants of the areas of the thickness, and it's got your thicknesses, and then it's got averages as well. So and that all looks really healthy.
Grab a seat then for us.
Thank you.
Oh, morning.
Morning.
I'm Richard Hollingsworth. Good to see you.
Oh, nice to meet you.
So, sight test time then for you, is it? Yeah. So I will take some notes. Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, of course.
So how are things vision-wise for you? How are you seeing?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I definitely need to wear my glasses when I'm watching television.
Okay. Yeah. So you're using it for mainly distance, are you?
Maybe distance, yeah.
How's reading, close work, things like that?
Reading, if it's on an actual like physical book, I'm fine. Also fine if I'm like on my phone, like really close.
Okay, yeah.
But on a computer screen, sometimes I get a bit of eye strain if I don't wear them.
Don't wear your specs.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever get any double vision? See through of anything?
No.
Good. What we'd like to hear. So, work-wise, what are you doing there?
So I'm an admin assistant,
Okay.
so lots of Excel spreadsheets.
Lots of computers, yeah.
Yeah.
How much time do you spend on a computer, or is that a dangerous question?
Yes, quite. I mean, it's over 7 hours a
Okay,
day.
so fair time then, yeah. And then devices at the...
Yeah, then I come home and edit for YouTube.
Okay,
So.
so quite a few. How do you find that, vision-wise?
Yeah, I do get the occasional headaches from
Okay,
it. Yeah.
Any particular time of day?
Mainly, like 4 or 5 p.m, like nearing the end of my work day when it's just, I want to take a break but can't because of work.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And how often do you get those?
Recently it's a lot better when I am actually wearing my glasses.
Okay.
So
That helps, it does.
yeah. So sometimes me just not wearing them all the time when I should
Enough,
be.
yeah. Yeah, all right. Anything in the vision? Any floaty, dotty bits? Any flashy, lighty bits?
No.
No. Okay, great stuff. And how's your health?
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any pills and potions at the moment?
Does supplements count?
Anything prescribed, really?
No,
Not
just
prescribed,
vitamin D
okay.
supplements. So.
Yeah, we don't get enough sunshine in this one.
Yeah. It's nice today though, actually, yeah.
Is it nice out there?
Yeah, it's quite sunny.
Yeah, lucky. We'll. I'll find it later.
Yeah.
It's the only problem with this job, you sit in the dark all day.
Yeah, it's lovely and cool in here though.
That's the pleasures of air conditioning, you see. It's a good thing, isn't
Nice.
it? Now, any trips to the hospital for your eyes at any stage?
Not to the hospital. Once,
Okay.
as I say a kid, I think I was like 12 or 13. I had a conjunctivitis.
Okay, yep.
But I don't remember it being super bad. I
Okay,
think.
just gummy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was gross. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not much fun, conjunctivitis.
No, I remember the GP saying that it might have been I used a very dodgy mascara or something.
okay.
So
Yes, they go out of date, as you know.
yeah,
And most people never throw them away.
yeah, just always use the same one.
Indeed. And anybody in the family with any eye problems at all?
Yes, but I don't really know the details. But my
Okay.
mum has a very, very particular prescription.
Okay.
I know in one of her eyes she has, I can't remember what it's called, the dot that like moves around or something.
Okay. So has she got glaucoma or
It's not one of the...
not one of those ones?
no.
Okay. So is it trying to control her eyes together? Do you know?
I just know she's very particular about what lenses she has to have
Okay.
in, and without them she can't.
She
see
can't
it.
function with them.
Yeah, whereas I
Okay.
can kind of be fine without them-ish. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, you can survive. Okay. But any diabetics or glaucomas in
Oh,
the family at all?
yes, yeah.
Who's diabetic?
So my gran and my aunt.
Okay. They get that later in life, do you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, quite recently I think so. Just over 50 my aunt got it.
It tends to be a later life thing, unfortunately. Right. Okay, no cataracts or anything like that? No, okay. All right. So, do you drive?
No.
No, okay. And I don't know whether I put this on you. I assume you don't smoke.
No, I
Good
don't.
stuff. Do you ever wear contact lenses at all?
No, I'm a bit scared of them.
Good. All right, okay. Sorry about that. It's always 20 questions to start with, okay?
Oh, it's alright.
But they're quite easy ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
So shall we have a little look and see what you're seeing today?
Okay.
So let me take you up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to go up a bit. There we go. And can you see in front of you? There's a mirror.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to cover your eye. There we go. And well, can you see any of the letters on there?
Yeah, I can read the top V and Z,
Okay.
and then it's R-E-N,
Well done.
and N,
Mhm.
F,
Yeah.
H,
Yeah. Okay.
P.
Nice. Any of the next one at all?
I think some of them I can I can
Okay.
get the N,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's an F or an R,
All right.
and then it's an R.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, the second one is an F, if that's an R.
Okay.
Am I overthinking it?
No. Yeah. Good guess is fine.
Z and H.
Okay.
Yeah, I could read that one. It's just a bit blurry.
Bit miss, and is the next one down? Yeah, okay.
No.
That is. We pushed, don't we? There we
It
go.
was a P.
Let's cover this now. Swap the letters over, okay?
Okay.
So have a peek there. And what can you manage down to for me?
U R on the top.
Mhm.
U E N.
Mhm.
Then U E N. Is that V or an M? V
Okay.
D F V R E.
Well done. And the next one.
Maybe an F.
Okay.
N F
Okay.
O F.
Okay. Bits and bobs. Okay.
Good.
All right.
Yeah, one of them was an F, I guess.
Yeah, one of them was there. Good try though.
Thank you.
That's all right. But let me give you this, and hopefully this looks a lot easier. Have a hold of that. Can you see the very small one there for me?
The
Yeah.
N5, yes, yeah.
That quite easy, is it?
Yeah,
And if I cover that one, can you still see it there?
yeah,
And can you still see it there?
yeah.
Lovely. And if you move it in towards your nose, tell me to go smudgy. Oh, on your nose, okay.
What do you...
Well done, that's good. So, on my letter chart out in the mirror again, On the third line up, in fact, let's not go third line up because you're going to have a struggle with that one, aren't you? Let's try my dot. Can you see my green dot there?
Yes.
Okay, so keep looking at my dot. I'm just going to cover each eye, okay? And this might make the dot hop around a little bit. Does the dot hop or is it staying still?
It moves.
Is it going up and down or side to side?
Side to side.
Okay. Now, can you see my little white dot here?
Yep.
Keep looking at that for me again. And again, is that just moving slightly? Or is it staying still?
I think it's moving side to side.
It's a little bit side to side, okay. So keep looking at the dot for me. I'm going to make it go cross-eyed with this one. Watch it coming in. Watch it coming in. Watch it coming in. Okay, well done. You can cross-eyes, can't you? Excellent. It's a bit strange, that one, isn't it? Make sure eyes go a bit funny. But that's good. Now I'm just going to take a measurement. Just look into my open eye for me. That's it, that one. Back again. Back once more. And five-ish. Lovely. Let's start off and have a little look and see what's going on. So I'm going to pop this onto your... I'll just clean this beforehand, okay? So I'm going to pop your forehead on here and then we're going to look through the little eyeglasses, okay? So let me pop that in there. So if you lean forward against it, that's lovely. Is that all right there for you?
Yeah.
Can we see you? Nearly. Let me take it up just a little bit. There we go. That better? Yes, we can see you now, can't we? Get rid of that bit. There we go. So I'm going to blur things a little bit more for you now, okay?
Okay.
This will get a bit blurry, okay?
Okay.
So, and that should have blurred both nicely for you.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see my green colour there out in the distance?
Yeah, it's like a traffic light, like red and green, yeah.
That's a bit hard to see it though, isn't it? I'm going to shine a bit of a light into your eyes, okay?
Okay.
And won't be that bright, but just want to have a little look, see what your vision's getting up to first. There we go. So look at the green for me. Nice and blurry though, isn't it? So hopefully that looks a bit clearer. Feel a bit lopsided. You've got one eye clear and one eye not, okay?
Yeah.
So can you see the circles on the red and green?
Yeah.
Which ones look better? Circles red or circles green?
Green, I think.
Green a little bit, yeah?
Yeah.
How about with that one?
Red.
Red one, okay. Let's go back to that. So, I'm going to change to a set of dots. Let me move to my dots. There you go. Can you see my dots there?
Yeah.
I'm going to place two lenses, 1 and 2. I'd like you to tell me which one makes the dots any clearer for you, okay?
Okay.
So, that's number 1. Or is it better number 2?
I think 2 is
Okay.
better.
Do it again. That's 1. And that's 2.
Oh,
Or is there not much
they're
in
not
it?
that much different.
Yeah, pretty similar?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just pop it there. And again, any better with 1? Or with 2?
1. Yeah.
1's a bit better, yeah?
Yeah, 1's much better.
Okay.
This one's much better.
Yep, first one.
Yeah.
Better than that one, is it?
Yeah. Crisper.
And again, any better with the first one? Or the second one?
First one.
That one was a bit easier, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's first one again. Or that second one.
First one.
First one, yeah. And that's first again. And second.
First.
And let's try first. Second again. Or was there not much in it? First again. Second one.
Oh wait, yeah, the first, I think.
And we'll try that once more. Any better with the first lens or the second one?
Maybe the second, actually.
Second is better?
Yeah.
And again, any better with that first one or the second one?
I honestly can't tell.
They're very similar, are they?
Yeah.
Not much in those two.
I don't think so.
Okay, that's good. Let's go back to that.
Oh, it's so clear.
Can you see my reds and greens again?
Yeah.
Which one this time stands out better?
Red.
Red a little bit, okay. And with this one?
Green.
Lovely.
Red.
Red one a bit?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back to my letters. And what's the smallest line you can see there for me?
I think I can read the bottom.
Okay,
Actually, yeah.
have a go for me.
Oh, okay. I'm starting to doubt myself now. I think it FRDVP.
Very good. Now, does it look any clearer with this one?
No, the one before.
That one's a bit better,
Yeah,
is
this
it?
is better.
Lovely. And any clearer here? Or better first one?
First one, this one, yeah.
Lovely. Shall we see if you've got eagle vision? Any of that one?
Oh my gosh. H.
Yep.
Oh my god. F.
Yep.
V. U. N.
Yeah, well done. That's very good indeed.
Did I get them all?
You did. You'll do. That's good vision. Lovely level.
Oh, that's great. If only I could do it without the glasses.
No, yeah, that's unfortunately a different story, isn't it?
Can some people actually read that without glasses?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, unfortunately you're that little bit short-sighted,
Yeah.
which means you can see things nice and closely to you. But of course everything in the distance is a bit more of a struggle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always the train times. I can never read them on the
Yeah.
board. It's so annoying.
Unless you squint at them a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
There's-
You just keep blinking, yeah.
It comes in a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So let's go back to red and green. I'm going to swap eyes, okay?
Okay.
There we go. And can you see the circles again for me?
Yep.
And which one this time stand out better?
Red.
Okay. Oh. Let's try that one. And this one?
Green.
Green a little bit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay. And we'll go dotty again, okay?
Okay.
There we go. So, is it any better with that first lens? Second lens?
First.
First a bit better, yeah.
Yeah.
And let's try any better with 3
No, it's quite blurry.
or with 4.
Oh, 4 is great.
4's good, okay.
4 is so clear.
That one. Into there. So we're going to do lens 1 and 2 again, okay?
Okay.
So any clearer with the first lens there? Or the second lens?
Second.
And again, the first one, second one,
First one.
and that's first again, second,
First.
and first again, second,
Second.
any clearer with the first one here or the second one?
This one right now, I think.
That's a little better, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, any better first one, second one.
First one.
Lovely. Okay. Let's take that away. Hopefully that looks dotty again for you.
Yeah, it's really clear now.
And if we go back to the letters, can you see the bottom one?
Yep.
Yeah.
UVHRZ.
Well done.
It's actually easier on this side.
It feels a bit easier, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Any sharper there?
I don't think so. I think this one's sharper.
Is that a bit better? Okay.
Yeah.
Any clearer here? Or with the first one?
This one's clearer, yeah.
That one's better. Or does it just look a bit blacker?
Okay. It's like same difference.
Yeah, pretty similar. Okay. Let me just let this one out. I'm just going to blur things a bit for you, okay?
Okay.
And can you see, in fact, can you see my letters there?
Yes.
Which one, still managing the bottom line?
Yeah. NPDUZ.
Okay, any clearer there?
I don't think.
Or better with that one?
Yeah, better with this one.
Okay. Come back to, I'm just going to fold this one. Just unfold that one. There we go. And again, let me give you some new letters. Can you see the bottom line again?
HNFUR.
And is it any clearer with this one?
Oh, yeah, it is.
A little bit easier there.
Yeah.
Any better with that one?
The one before was
That one's better.
Yeah.
Lovely. Come back to this one. Unfold that one. That feel a bit better now?
Yeah, it's great. It's so clear.
Looking quite well down the bottom there.
Yeah.
And if I give you that one back again, does that look quite easy?
Not easy, but I can
Okay.
try.
Have a go.
Oh gosh, it's a PZ U H and N.
Well done. That's very good.
H's and N's look so similar.
They do. P's and F's as well are very close, aren't they?
Oh gosh, yeah.
But that looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
You've got lovely, very good vision once it's corrected.
Oh, that's
Very,
great.
very
Good to hear.
So let's just have a look at your near vision, just make sure that's doing what it should be. So I'm just going to get in the way. And can you see the N5 there again?
Oh, yeah.
Is that quite easy to see?
Yeah.
And can you still see it here?
Yeah, it's easier to
And
see.
can you still see it there?
Yep.
And still see it there?
Yep.
You'll do nicely. Well done. So let's that for you. There we go. Lovely. Okay, let's let you loose out of this horrible thing. Well done. Good. Well, yeah, you're definitely short-sighted, but once corrected, your vision is really, really good. It's a lovely level.
Oh, that's good to hear.
So you see at least a line better than the 100% line, so that's really good. Really sharp vision. But you do need your glasses on to do that. That's the only thing. Okay. Close to, not such an issue. You're does what it says on the tin. You're short-sighted, so you can still see close to. You have a wee bit of astigmatism, which is to do with the shape of the eye.
Yes, that's what I meant. Sorry, with my mum.
Your mum,
It was
a bit of
astigmatism.
okay, fair dues. Yeah, so you have a little bit, but not a lot.
Okay.
But it just, as you saw, it just makes it absolutely pin sharp when that's in there. But you've only got a small bit, okay? So it's not a huge problem for you, okay? So let's have a closer look at your eyes, just see what they're up to, shall we? Let's pop you onto this thing. Just a little bit. And if I can ask you just to lean forward and pop your chin on the chin rest there. Is that all right there for you? Now this is going to get nice and bright, okay? Now if you like to look at my ear this side for me, I'm just going to have a look at the outside of your eyes first. Look up for me, and look down, straight ahead again. Have you noticed a little bit of pigmentation at the edge of your eye on this side, at any stage?
What does that exactly mean? Like colours?
Yeah, just a little brown mark at the edge of the eye there.
I don't think I've no.
No, not being aware of it? Okay. Have a
Yeah, I
look.
might just not be aware of it if
Okay.
it's something.
Let's have a look at this one.
I thought it was makeup in my eyes.
Okay. Look up for me. And look down. Straight ahead again. I'm just going to have a look at the back of the eyes as well, okay? So I'm just going to turn the lights back up. Okay, look past my ear this side, thanks. So very bright this one, okay? Look up at the ceiling for me. Over to the left. Over to the right. Look down for me. Look at this side. And again, if you look at my ear this side, what do you think? Look up for me. Over to the left. Over to the right. Look down again for me. Well done. And you can sit back again for me, thanks. Good. Probably got nice purple spots in your vision there. Sorry about that. Okay, let me explain a little bit about that brownie. So you've got some pigmentation at the just on the white of your eye at this side. Okay, all right. It's nothing to worry about, but it's worth just having a look at it every now and again. So have a look in the mirror every now and again. Just make sure it stays the same sort of shape and size. Okay.
Is it this side
yeah,
or is it?
it's just towards the ear.
Have a look.
Yeah, have a look in the mirror, because a good thing about being short-sighted, you can see it nice and clearly.
Yeah.
You just see a little mark there, and that's a little pigmentation. Okay, all right.
Okay.
It's nothing serious. Sometimes they can increase in size, and then we get a little bit more worried about them. But I think this is just a little pigmentation that's there for you. Okay, all right.
Will that have been there since I was born, or is it?
Probably. Yeah, It's
Okay.
probably been there a fair while.
Must not look at myself enough.
Don't look deeply into your own eyes. That's it. But it's something to keep a watch on. Okay.
Okay.
Let me draw a little diagram. And then you can see where it is then. So it's around about here. It says there.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Just a few
Oh,
pigments.
yeah, I think someone's actually mentioned
Yeah.
that to me before. And
Okay.
I was like, what are you on about?
Yeah.
Ah.
So it's a little pigment deposit there. Okay, it's very superficial. It's very innocuous. Okay, it's probably just you. All right.
Okay.
So, but it's worth just watching it. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you suddenly start going, hello, that's getting bigger and more noticeable,
Yeah.
then
What exactly? Why does it?
we just sometimes get these odd pigment cells disperse themselves around the eye. So sometimes they're right next to the clear part of the eye here,
Yeah.
and sometimes they're dotted all over the conjunctiva. If they start to grow, then we get more worried about them because they can be significant to other problems. But yours does not look like that at all.
Okay. Yeah.
Yours just looks like a normal pigmented area. But it's just worth knowing it's there. Okay?
Yeah. Well, thank you for
That's all right.
alerting me to it.
The rest of the eyes look very happy. The back of the eyes look very good too. Nice, happy, healthy eyes. We'll have a little look at your scans in a moment, okay? I want to see what they're up to. Okay. So, as I say, eyes look very good. Nice, healthy eyes. They work well together. Just that bit short-sighted. That little pigmenty bit, but as I say, don't get overstressed about that. Just every now. Problem is, you're going to go and watch it now, aren't you? I can see it. Just keep a watch on it, okay? All right. It's the best thing. I think review again in about a couple of years' time, okay? Would be good. Let me just show you your pictures. So we did some three-dimensional scanning of your retina. So this is the optic nerve. The optic nerve is what takes all the information off to the brain and turns it into an image for us. It's also known as the blind spot.
Okay.
Because it's just neural tissue. There's no photoreceptors there at all. So thankfully we don't see this big area of nothing in our vision because our brain fills it in nicely for us. So these are all your nerve fibres. About 1.5 million nerve fibres that go down your optic nerve. So it's a fair few, isn't it? And we look at these, and we look at the optic nerve to see how healthy your vision is, but also how healthy you are as well. So there are certain issues that can be seen on that, and you're also perfectly healthy, okay, all right.
Oh, wow.
But also what this does, it takes a measurement of the thickness of it.
Yeah.
So what it does is it's a bit like a big ring donut, okay, with a hole in the middle,
Yeah.
and that's where all the blood vessels come out. And it's a bit hard to assess that, so what this machine does is it flattens it all out for us. So it takes that donut and flattens it for us, okay, and then we can look at the thicknesses in different areas. So as you can see, it goes a bit thick and thin in different places.
Yeah.
We have different bundles, so the superior bundles are always a bit, and the inferior ones a bit thicker, because that's the ones that do the major part of our vision for us. They do the very sharp part of our vision, okay, and they go to this area here, which is called the fovea. And we look at those for damage or loss of thickness, and this can indicate something called glaucoma, okay. But as you can see, yours are nicely within the green statistical, yes, you're okay. So that looks very good. So the optic nerve on your right eye looks very happy.
It's so interesting.
And what we'll do is go to this one. Now this one does this foveal area, and as you can see there's a little dip here.
Yes.
And the dip is there because it spreads all of the nerve fibres away from your vision. So all around the rest of the peripheral part of your eye, the light has to pass through all of these 10 layers of the retina to get to the bottom layer, or the 10th layer, which is your photoreceptor layer. So the only place it doesn't do it is this foveal area, and this is our sharpest vision.
Okay.
Okay, so this area is about as thick as or about as large as a pinhead in real life. It's tiny, tiny, and it's what's responsible for all our. So if I spin that round,
Oh, it's that little white.
so it's that little bit in there, and as you see, if I change it now, you can see it becomes 3D. See how it dips down in that dip, and if I move this back, we can take little sections through your eyes, chop it up nicely, but thankfully only with light.
Hopefully not in real life.
And you can see there's that little dip area.
Yeah.
Okay? And then as we move back past it, it goes out of that area. So you can see all the blood vessels as well point in towards that. So the blood vessels don't pass across it, otherwise you get a dirty grey line across your vision.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed when I was shining the light in, you saw some like tree branches.
I did, yeah.
And this is your blood vessels. This is because they sit on top of your retina, and the photoreceptors are underneath. So when we shine a bright light in, you get a nice little shadow of your own blood vessels. And
I saw my own blood vessel.
indeed, and as
so
you can
cool.
see here, these sort of lines here. This is the shadow. Okay, all these little shadows, because the light doesn't get through your blood vessels very well, because it's, strange enough, full of blood.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that's your fovea, and that looks lovely and healthy as well.
Good.
So again, we can see other changes. You know, for instance, if you had diabetes, things like that, you can see it quite avidly in these
It's amazing
images.
that the eyes show the health of the body.
They show a lot of different, problems, a lot of neurological problems, things like this as well. So I'll show you our field test plot in a moment. So again, same for the left eye. Nice, happy foveal area. If we get a profile again, we can bring that up, and you can see here your nice foveal area. But we're talking what thickness of that area, 212 microns, less than a quarter of a millimetre. That's how thick that is.
I can imagine it.
Tiny, isn't it?
Tiny.
Tiny. And consequently, that area is really, really small, but essential for our very good vision. If we start losing this, we start losing our very good vision. So lots of elderly people get something called age-related macular degeneration, and this actually affects this central part. So you start losing central vision. So unfortunately, with some of it, it's untreatable. So they just generally quietly lose their central vision, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
So
does the hole get deeper or like shallower? Or
no, you start to lose the photoreceptors at the back, so you start
okay.
getting lumpy bits at the back of it, and it's
and that's just age.
time. Yeah, it's thankfully you've got miles off it if you ever get it at all, which is good.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yes, and hopefully they'll find a cure for it in that time as well, which will be very useful.
Yeah.
So that looks all very good. Let's have a look at your field plot again. So, as I say, this does your peripheral vision. So the square in the centre, or if you like, the target in the centre is that foveal area. We test a lot of that in here, so we know that that's working well. So what we do is fire dots into the periphery and get you to see if you can see them.
Yeah.
And you did very well. You didn't miss any points. The background illumination is at a nice level as well. Sometimes we have to increase or decrease that.
Okay.
That can be a problem. But yours is looking very good. Looks
good.
very happy and normal. Sometimes if there's a lesion, let's say we have a stroke, or we have maybe a growth within our head, it can be picked up in these field tests because you start to lose areas on it.
That would be connected to the...
That's right, because the visual pathway goes all the way to the visual cortex at the back, and of course there's a pathway through the brain. So if anything's going on in there, you can sometimes pick it up with field tests. You can't pick everything up, but certainly, and it can be quite diagnostic. So you can lose 1/2 of the vision, and that tends to be much further back. As it comes up, you maybe get just quadrants, and then as you come towards the front of the eye, you maybe even get one eye affected. So it's quite diagnostic for many different things.
Yeah, well, it'd be good to find out, and then if you did have something wrong, at least you
Exactly.
know.
So
Yeah.
if there's anything going on, we can say, right, that needs to be reviewed.
Yeah,
or
I never knew it was
treated.
so linked, like, to other health issues that you could
Absolutely.
spot.
Yeah. There's a vast quantity of information that your eyes do tell us
Yeah.
about your general health. And I'm glad to say yours is lovely.
Yeah,
It's
that's always good to hear
really
at the end of the
good,
day.
really nice. So all in all, I think very good.
Great.
I think we should see how things go, and say I'll put you down for a couple of years anyway.
Okay.
If you find vision changes or you've got any issues, you
Okay.
can pop back in and see us.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions at all?
I think... Yeah, no, I can't think of anything
Okay.
too bad.
Well, if you've got any
Yeah.
questions, we
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew one would. So if I am occasionally lazy and I
Yes.
am watching television without my glasses on
Yeah.
from far away, and I can feel a bit of eye strain, but I'm not
You're
using
okay
them.
with it, yeah?
Am I making them worse?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm glad to say that glasses are not what's called therapeutic. They only aid your vision once they're on. It's
Okay.
not going to suddenly, you're going to go, oh, I'm going to go much more short-sighted if I don't wear them.
Okay.
Okay, all right. There is some evidence saying that if you do a lot of close work, just generally,
all right.
computer screens, devices,
Yeah.
that it maybe encourages you to become more myopic. But you're getting more into the safe country now, at your time, shall we say. Okay. So it's good to give yourself breaks from devices and things like this. So
Yeah.
if you're doing a little bit of close work, just make sure you look away from the screen every now and again.
Okay.
Not just the 20 minutes every 4 hours, whatever it is. So just have a little mini break. So because our eyes are not designed to be fixed at one point. We're never really made to look at one thing for many hours. We were
Okay.
designed to sit in treetops looking at wildebeest running past, and then pick at something close to and things like this, not just look close to. So our eyes are not pretty well adapted for close stuff. So we make that sort of environment again. So we do a little bit. We look out the window a little bit. We look over here, across an office. My best advice is though, don't ever look at the clock though, because that'll just drive you mad. Look out the window is much better. But just develop a little habit so that you're not overdoing it.
I'd always thought it was like digital versus like an actual book, and then that was a break. But I guess it's actually
close to. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's good just to relax your eyes and let them refocus in the distance, and then bring them back. And of course we've all got to use devices and do things, but it's just nice to give it a little break.
Oh, thank you. That was actually
All right.
really nice to know.
Okay.
Yeah, glad I asked.
Super. That's okay. So we'll see you a couple of years, if not before. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem at all. You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Hey Melissa,
Hello.
nice to meet you. I'm Bav. So with you today, we're booked in for your new patient consultation appointment. So with the appointment today, it's kind of split into 3 parts. First part, really basic admin. I just want to get to know you a little bit better. Really background questions, just trying to work out more about your daily routine. We're then going to go through a bit more details about what's kind of bringing you in today, if it's back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, whatever it might be. Even if there's no issues, normally patients come in just because they want to be checked with their posture and be preventative of stuff, which is important. After we've done all that, we're going to go through a bit of an examination where I'm trying to obviously work out what the cause of the issue is, and then as a result we'll explain what we found, and then we'll get on with some treatment, but I'll explain more of what our treatment involves in that stage. Happy with that?
Yeah, sounds
Perfect.
great. Thank you.
So first couple of questions, like I said, really basic and introductory. First question, occupation-wise, day-to-day, what would you say it is that your main occupation role is?
Yeah, so I'm an admin assistant, so lots of desk work.
So with you in a typical average day, what's the most you find that you're sitting sedentary before getting up and taking a break? About an hour to 2 hours average.
Yeah, probably a good 2 hours sometimes, yeah.
Working from the home, working from office, kind of a mix of both?
Office, entirely office.
And do you have one screen or 2 screens?
One big one in front of me.
Cool. And what about standing, being active, being on your feet? In an average day, what's the most amount of time you're ever on your feet before sitting down and taking a break? 20, 30 minutes, maybe up to an hour at the gym, or if you go for a run, for example?
Gosh, it would be under 30.
It's crazy when you think about it, right, sometimes. But do you get your 10,000 steps in a day, do you think, roughly?
If I go on a walk in my lunch break, yes. If not, no.
Okay. Something already to work on there.
Yeah.
With work, or again just personally, do you travel quite regularly? Car journeys, train journeys, but flights in particular?
Flights not since COVID, yeah. But travelling, I commute to London every day by train, so...
How long is that?
Both ways, 3 hours in total.
Oh, so quite 1.5 hours in, 1.5 hours out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you have any young kids of your own?
No.
Nieces, nephews, younger brothers, sisters? Any young kids in your life that you would be kind of carrying or lifting fairly often?
No. I have cats, but I know that's probably
That is the
a bit
next
different.
question.
Oh,
Pets.
okay.
So yeah, pets, animals that you look after?
Yes, yeah.
Cats.
3 cats.
Oh, wow. Cats, in a weird way, normally do their own thing. I always tell patients, as you probably know as well, whereas dogs need a bit more attention. But still, when you're carrying and lifting the cats, it can be a small factor as well.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, cool. So 3 cats. So really background information, but really helpful. In your own words now, what's kind of bringing you in today? What's the main issue?
My main issue is this shoulder, my right shoulder. I feel like I don't know if it's my imagination, but it comes forward a lot more than the other one. And often if I've used the computer too much, or like the mouse, it really hurts by the evening. So, but I've had that for like over 10 years. So
that's my next question. So originally you've noticed this problem for about 10 years.
Yeah.
When you kind of first had it, was it something that you could kind of easily ignore, or even then was it quite annoying and a nuisance?
Even then, when I noticed it, it was really painful, like at school, sat at the desk.
How would you best describe it yourself? Like a dullness, a throbbing, an ache, a stabbing. How would you best describe that discomfort?
More like a piercing pain.
Okay. So it can get quite uncomfortable at some points.
Yeah, like it's not constant, but when it happens it's really sharp and painful.
This next question is a bit of a weirdly phrased one, but what's kind of making you come in now to get it checked? Is it because you find you just have a bit more time, you've just understood more about chiropractic, having more time to come in, for example? Anything particular? Or have the symptoms changed? Have they got worse, for example?
They've definitely got worse since I started working full time, but also now I've just, since I am working full time, I've got the money to kind of spend on fixing the things that have bothered me.
Makes sense as well. No, which is a fair question, which, like I said, it's a weird one to ask, but it's still quite helpful to know. You mentioned like the desk work and things like that. It can always feel a bit achy and sore when you've had a busy day and things as well. Is there any other activity or like almost one-off movement that you notice gives you the most discomfort? Carrying your bag, for example, swimming, combing your hair, any random movements like that ever irritate it? Something you almost avoid doing because you know it's going to give you shoulder discomfort.
I think it's if I am on like my laptop or something, or like my iPad in bed, like actually just tapping the screen, like selecting a YouTube video or anything like that can be painful.
Okay. What helps it when it is like that, if anything? Stretches that painkillers, adjusting or clicking your own neck or trying to stretch it out like that?
Yeah, clicking my neck and also just lying flat or just trying to lie my shoulders out as flat as possible.
So trying to stretch it out a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Now, clicking your neck is not a bad thing to do. I'm going to explain more about this a little bit later. It is a bad thing if you're doing it too much. And that's what we get with a lot of patients. A couple of times a week max, not a big deal. But you get a lot of people that are trying to do it almost a couple of times a day. And I'll explain a little bit later how about this issue has nothing to do with your neck and more to do with your upper back. So actually it's about working on the right area, not necessarily just where you're feeling the symptoms as well. Okay. Don't worry about this question too much. But when you do sometimes get this neck and shoulder issue, do you ever get issues going down your arm a little bit, like a bit of a numbness, tingling, either into the arm, into the top of the chest, or even in between the shoulder blades? If you ever noticed?
I've never noticed that, no.
So it's fairly localised to that kind of area you mentioned in the upper back and shoulders?
Yeah, very much here. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe a little bit into the chest there, or not really?
Yeah, more the neck than the chest, I think.
Good, fine. Okay. Anything else you want to mention? Anything else you might think is relevant about this problem? Any other issues you want me to check on?
Any other issues? Sometimes chest pain, but I don't know if that's related. I think I do have awful posture, so
probably is linked to that. So we'll explain all about that as we go through. Fine, cool. So a couple more background questions, and then we're going to move into your exam. So really background health stuff. But cardiovascular with you, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, cholesterol, any heart issues you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of.
Breathing, a bit more important with you, but asthma, hay fever, sinuses, just general shortness of breath, unfit, anything like that you notice?
Hay fever, yes. Unfit,
bad
yes.
This week as well, the hay fever.
It's really bad today. Shortness of breath, sometimes, yes. But I don't know if that's unfitness or...
It could be something else potentially as well. Yeah. Fine, we'll look into that a little bit more for you today as well. Any dislocations, fractures, any other issues or injuries that you've ever had to your body?
No, never had a big injury that I know of.
No surgeries, for example, no things like that. Okay, cool. And a few more background questions. Any regular medication that you take?
Regular? I take vitamin D supplements.
So supplements is a separate section, that's fine. Okay. So Vit D, anything else regularly, semi-regularly with vitamins?
Iron.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no medication, no.
Would you ever take a painkiller, for example, if you get like any discomforts? Like headaches, for example, is that a regular occurrence for you?
Sometimes, yeah. But even when it's quite bad, I'm weirdly stubborn about taking medicine.
Fine.
So
If you can sort of get it to the issue more naturally, why not, right?
yeah.
Fine. Okay, so we're done for this first section, so now we're going to move on into the exam, okay? I'm going to put my tablet down.
Okay.
Can I get you to just come and have a little stand here next to me? So what I'm going to be doing is just having a little feel of some of the muscles, joints in your body and everything as well, okay? Let me know if anything's uncomfortable at any point. Just going to place my hands on your shoulders, okay? So where I'm poking you here on the left, can you feel where my thumb is there, a little bit tender?
Yeah.
And here on the right?
Yeah.
A bit more tender on the right, would you say?
Yeah.
Are
Quite
you
a lot.
right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay. While my hands are here, what I want you to do, Melissa, is look over your right shoulder, trying to look at me. Go as much as you feel comfortable. That'll do. Relax. Look at me over your left shoulder now, please. That'll do. Relax. Did you feel any pain when you did that?
No.
Look down towards the floor as much as you feel comfortable. Good. Look up towards the ceiling now for me again as much as you feel comfortable. That'll do. Relax. Can I get you to drop your left ear to your left shoulder? Good. And drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Good. Relax back into the middle. How did those movements feel?
Yeah, it was
Not uncomfortable in
yeah.
any way? Only as much as you feel comfortable now. Bend down, touch your toes, go as far as you feel comfortable. Palm flat on the floor if you can get there.
Yeah.
Good effort. No, good effort. Come back up for me. That'll do. And relax. Comfortable? Just move your hair out of the way a little bit. So I'm just having a little feel of all the kind of joints, muscles, and your posture in general. So I know you've kind of come in for the issue around the right shoulder blade, and I've kind of seen what I've needed to see around the right shoulder. Again, with chiropractic treatment, we're not just looking at kind of the symptoms you're coming in with, we're trying to work out the cause of the problem, so kind of get the issue to resolve not just short term with our treatments, but sort of more medium and long term as well. So again, when I'm poking into your lower back, I can feel quite a lot of muscular tension. Can you feel that spot there, for example? It's quite sensitive, right?
Yeah.
And here on the left, not so bad?
Left is better, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's definitely some tension all the way through the spine and the posture. Can you feel that there, for example?
Yeah.
Not
The
bad.
left is worse on that.
More a little bit on the left. Can I just bend your right knee? I'm just going to bring your heel towards your glute. Any pain in your knees or in your back when I do that?
No.
Same again with that left knee.
Yeah,
Any
that's
pain?
fine.
Good. When you're ready, Melissa, can I get you to turn over onto your back for me? Take your time as you turn over onto your back for me, okay? So now I'm just going to have a little feel of the neck and shoulders. Just lift your head up for me and just relax the weight of the head for me as well. Try and let the head relax as much as you feel comfortable. I know it's always difficult meeting a stranger for the first time and just telling you to relax your head. So I'm just having a little feel of the facet joints in your neck, and I'll explain what those are in a couple of minutes. But again, when you feel me prodding on them, can you feel how a couple of them are quite tender, especially that one on the right?
Yeah.
Promise you I'm not poking a lot, but that's how sensitive it kind of is in your neck, and this is where you do feel a lot of that tension and that kind of desire sometimes to look your own neck as well. Like for me, honestly, both sides are probably as tight as each other. In fact, I'd argue the left is actually tighter than the right.
Oh, really?
But, yeah, there is quite a lot of sensitivity on the right as well. Can you feel that bump there as well?
Yeah.
And again, sorry to repeat this question, but you don't get headaches, do you? Or migraines or any issues like that?
Not too often.
Okay, good. And again, you can feel that pressure point there, can't you? Just where my hand is there. And the other way? Good. When you're ready, sit back up and just face either way, left or right for me. Take your time as you get back up.
Yeah, no, I do. When I do get headaches, they're really, really bad, but they're not like.
Super quick. Then what I'd like you to do now, just mark on the spot for me. That'll do, Melissa. And relax. Just going to check your feet now, okay? Okay, interesting. All done with this section. I'll explain what I found in a few minutes. So Melissa, following on from the exam, what I'm going to basically explain now is what I've found, what the issue is, and obviously maybe what's causing the issue and how we can work backwards to kind of improve all these things. So what I've generally noticed is there's a lot of tight muscles in your upper back and shoulder. The primary culprit is this muscle, known as your levator scapulae. Levator scapulae is a muscle that sits on the top of the shoulder blade, as you can see here, and its tendons insert into a lot of the facet joints in the neck, pulling and creating a lot of pressure on the neck, and that's why I mentioned that a lot of people feel that need to constantly be stretching the neck, whereas the issue is coming more from the upper back and shoulders. Now, a lot of other muscles are quite tight as well, such as your traps, suboccipitals, but definitely the one that's causing the majority of the issues is the levator scapulae. And then what we're going to be doing during the treatment is loosening up a lot of the muscle tension around that area and adjusting the joints and where this muscle is pulling and creating pressure. But another term that I could use to better describe the symptoms and the posture that you've come in with sounds very aggressive when you're saying it in this way, but you have a posture issue known as upper cross syndrome, which sounds much more aggressive than what it is. It's basically trying to explain that you have a lot of muscular imbalances, especially the upper part of your body and a little bit in the lower part of the body, where a lot of muscles, like we've explained, levator, scapulae and traps, are quite tight, also the pecs and the SCM. So in the short term, what we're looking to do is loosen up a lot of these tight muscles, get you feeling better, less pressure building up on the joints, generally maintaining a good posture. But what you might then find yourself often is very quickly reverting back into the bad position. That's when we switch the treatment into almost its second part, which is not so much based around loosening up the tight areas, but more about strengthening the areas that are quite weak as well. So muscles such as your rhomboids, lower traps, serratus anterior. And then longer term, there's a way of benefiting, keeping less pain, keeping the right posture. It's not just a case of doing stretches, but the right balance between the stretches and the exercises, based on your lifestyle, your routine as well. And the interesting thing is, again, a lot of people can have these posture issues for different reasons, hence why I was asking you a lot of the questions. Sometimes these posture habits can develop from people who have bad breathing patterns. Sometimes there can be congenital issues. Sometimes, like you said, is most commonly, forward desk posture when people are working at screens, so bad desk setups. Breastfeeding can be a common issue with patients that are pregnant. And that's what I like. Even though a lot of patients come to us for kind of the same issue, every person is unique as to why they have their problem. So it's almost like a detective show where I'm trying to work out for that person why they have the issue, not necessarily just what their issue is, which can normally be quite a straightforward one as well. Now, the second issue I've noticed with you, which is relatively minor, but again, we'd probably have to look into it a little bit more in the long term. I don't know if you've ever noticed this yourself, but you have a small bunion on your foot.
Oh, okay.
Left foot, I think it is.
What exactly is a bunion?
I will explain in a second. Do you want to just show me your feet again? There. See that point on that side of the foot, which is just poking out a little bit? That's called a bunion. Now, what a bunion is like a little bit of a bony growth starting to develop. It's very minor. It sounds like it's more aggressive than what it is.
It sounds so gross.
Yeah, no. I'll show you on Google what the worst kind of bunions look like, actually, so you realise you're nowhere near as bad as that. No, nowhere near as bad as that. Bunions are basically just where the body starts to put down a bit more of a bony growth in the certain parts of the feet, especially when it's having more stress applied into that area. So this is what bunions can look like when they're really quite bad. So you have a very minor bunion starting to develop sort of here on your left foot, just around where the big toe is.
Okay.
Now, the reason that's interesting, and again, depends on certain patients, it just maybe means that you might be rolling your foot in a little bit more when you're someone that's walking or running. Don't know if that's something you've noticed where sometimes maybe your shoes wear out a bit more on one side, for example. Doesn't have to be something it is.
Never noticed.
Something to notice. Sometimes a lot of people who work in retail, again, are on their feet for long periods. Now, over time, and like I said with you, this is very, very minor, I'm starting to see this kind of posture pattern developing, where you're quite tight in your lower back muscles, and as a result, like you said, it feels like your shoulders are a little bit uneven and a little bit rounded. Again, that could be from carrying heavy bags, it could be from carrying young kids, I've kind of ruled that out with you. But so with some patients, and again, this would be more a factor if you have this issue and you spend a lot of time on your feet, which you mentioned you don't, if you're wearing the wrong kind of footwear, it can also develop as well. So it's not something I would expect you to worry about at all, but it's worth telling you since obviously you've come in today as well. But like I said, it would be a simple case of maybe again just getting you to wear better shoes, or when you're on your feet a lot more, just doing certain exercises to build on as well. But yeah, something I thought worth mentioning, but very, very minor.
Oh gosh.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Perfect. So you've never kind of noticed that so much yourself in the past?
Never noticed before. And I just wear trainers every day.
New Balance A6, I can already tell you, are one of the better brands to wear when you're on your feet. You probably even noticed you're more comfortable when you're on your feet.
I traded to New Balance during sixth form and never
look back. So what the biggest difference is compared to like Skechers is it has these bumps here, which are like the arch supports.
Sorry if they're gross, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. So that basically means it's supporting your arches better, so you're not kind of rolling your foot in as much, but obviously you must be doing just that little bit more. Whereas some shoes, for example, they seem like they're good, especially like brands like Skechers with the foam, which is what people are looking for.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't want things to be too soft and spongy. You're actually just looking at the support in the right places.
Yeah.
And brands like New Balance, Asics, ON, a lot of those trainers naturally always come with that support built in. And again, that can then help to avoid postural issues like
so the
this
shoes
in
are
future.
okay?
Shoes are perfectly fine. Like I said, it's a very minor thing that you're doing in the first place. But if
Okay.
you ever were to be spending a lot more time on your feet and then you notice actually you were starting to get more back pain, maybe this could be the reason why. And again, there's stretches and exercises to show you and work on then to
Yeah.
correct that issue as well. Whereas right now it's a very minor issue. So what we mean by pronation is that's what most people have. They have this curve in the foot, whereas you might be rolling your foot in a little bit more than the average person, which is what we call pronation. Whereas someone who's generally quite flat-footed is an overpronator. There can be people that walk more on the outside of their foot more naturally. They're called supinators, or they do the action of supination. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. What we're going to start by doing is some really basic soft tissue work with one of the machines. It's just a nice soft tissue vibration machine, and what it's mainly looking to do is kind of ease you into the treatment, just help loosen up a lot of the general muscle tension that you have. This then helps for two reasons. Because you're a bit more relaxed, when we want to do the adjustments to release the pressure on the joint, it means we don't have to really push with too much force.
Okay.
I know in a lot of chiropractic videos they are a little bit edited, but also they look like they're very much pushing very hard to get these adjustments. And a lot of people do like those noises and sounds. It's very aggressive and clinical. It's not really the thing you want to be doing all the time. So you want to apply as little force as possible to get the release as well. So this is the first machine, aptly named the Thumper. How does that feel, okay?
It feels great.
Yeah. Like I said, a little bit of a vibration just through the body as well. I'm starting on quite a low setting, so this goes up to about a 5 on the scale. This is about a 1.5, 2 at the minute. It's just a nice way of, like I said, easing the patient into a treatment as well. So with manual therapy treatments, that can vary between chiropractic, osteopathy, physiotherapy, and even just sports massage therapy. Again, how's that pressure, okay?
Yeah.
Let me know if it's too much and I'll ease off, but I'm just going to pick it up a little bit more then, okay?
No, it's fine.
So we're getting to about a 3 now. Seen anyone else for this problem in the past? Maybe a massage therapist or a physio or anyone else?
No, I had one of the facials I had ended up she did some of the lymph node drainage and
Basic soft tissue work.
she told me she'd never seen such a tense neck.
Oh, no, okay. I mean, like I said, I did notice that on both sides as well. So two people telling you the same thing now. So what I'm going to do now is some of these spinal adjustments just to release a lot of the pressure that these muscles are pulling on your joints and creating, okay? There's a couple of angles I'm going to be pushing through just to kind of get that kind of release. What you can normally hear when this happens is like a clicking or a popping sound, and that's just the sound of the gas bubbles which have kind of built up within the joint being released or dissolving. Ready? Breathe in. And out for me. Little drop. Light push. Good. And relax for me. How was that?
Yeah?
Not as bad as you thought?
Not as bad as I thought, no.
Good. First time it's always quite nervous for patients. But actually, if I'm being honest with you, that released nice, easy and smoothly, not much force needed. And again, a lot of that was because, that soft tissue machine did help to release a lot of the pressure. Now that was more in the middle back, sort of between T2 and about T5. Nice way of releasing the pressure here. That helps you already naturally sink the shoulder blades back rather than hiking them up, which is causing these ones to get tight. But the next adjustment I'm going to do is the really key one with you. It's called a CT adjustment, and it will release the pressure much more here where these knots have kind of developed into these muscles. This is where the bulk of the muscle is, and then what happens is the tendons of those muscles are the ones that pull on the neck and create a lot of pressure in the neck. So I'm just going to release through here and here, okay? Again, can be a little bit nervous first time getting this area adjusted, but it will be nice and safe, I promise. Ready? Lift your head forward and just give your head a little bit of a twist and a turn. Try and relax your head there. Ready? And then when you're ready, other way for me. Nice and relaxed. Let you go. How was that side, okay?
Yeah.
Breathe in and out for me. Good. And relax for me. How was that?
Yeah,
Right.
it feels
Like
nice.
I said, not as bad as it always expected to be. It is quite tight, so I'm having to apply a bit of force to get into those areas. But no, we're getting quite nice releases, which is good. Great. Listen, when you're ready, take your time. Can I get you to turn over onto your back now for me? So again, we're going to do an adjustment in a few minutes just on the actual neck itself, just to release these set joints. Like I said, there is pressure here at the minute, so we do need to do this adjustment to release the pressure. But actually, like I said, if the majority of the issue is from the upper mid-back and control it there, you're not needing to adjust your neck as much because not as much pressure will ever be building on the neck itself. But yeah, there's a couple of spots like that one there, for example, yeah, which is quite tender and sore.
Yeah, you're right. It was worse on the left actually there.
Like I said, left, I'll explain why again in a little bit more detail, why I think the left is a bit tighter, even though you feel the symptoms more on the right. So it's going to be a nice light adjustment for your neck. You ready? Again, try and relax your head as much as you can, but I've got a nice little technique to help with this. Ready? What I'd like you to do is just wiggle your toes for me. That'll do. And then one more time on the left. Keep wiggling those toes, nice and relaxed. Good. And relax. How was that?
That was fine, yeah.
Good. Like I said, you never want to be doing one of those wrangly head movements that you can find sometimes on these chiropractic videos. It's nice and gentle, nice and soft. Got one more to do if I can, just on the right side, which is a little bit more blocked here. But let's see. If we don't get it, it's not the worst thing in the world. Nice and relaxed. Keep wiggling those toes. That's perfect. That'll do. When you're ready, can I get you to now turn onto this shoulder, facing towards the blue wall? So keep the bottom leg straight and just bend your top knee for me. I'm just going to tuck that there. I'm just going to lift you up from the pelvis now. And now what I'd like to do is just bring this arm across the body. And if you give me this arm, I'm just going to pull you off the elbow. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is to hold onto your arms around my arm, nice and tight. Hold onto your elbows. I'm just going to roll you forwards. I promise you won't fall. You're going to hear a couple of clicks from the back and the pelvis, okay? Ready? Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Excellent. When you're ready, turn and face the other way for me. Again, keep your bottom leg straight. Bend this in here. Just going to lift you up from the pelvis slightly. Arm across the body, just off the elbow very slightly. Hold onto your elbows around my arm. Again, just a very light little roll. Ready? And when you're ready, sit back up and face towards the blue wall. So, that's two parts of the treatment. We've loosened up a lot of the general muscle tissue, adjusted some of the joints to get a bit more movement into the joints. Hopefully already it feels looser, lighter, and you feel a bit more mobile in that area as well. And I can already see you're sitting a bit better as well. To finish up with you, I'm going to use this machine now, which is called the Theragun. It's a great vibration percussion machine. It's much more powerful than the first one. It really gets into the muscle a little bit better. But again, let me know if it's too much. It does sound a bit like a drill. Ready? How's that again?
That's nice.
Yeah, nice. I mean, like I said, everything you do is supposed to feel nice. But yeah, this one's quite a nice one. It just gets into these muscle knots more effectively. There's a good way and a wrong way to use this. A lot of people, have these devices at home, and what they do is they find a knot or an area like yours, and what they do is essentially they just on that spot, just almost like break it down. But it doesn't work effectively like that. So what you want to do is find an area where you're sensitive, and you want to kind of go along, so kind of be moving it along the length of the muscle fibers. And when you're doing that, you're kind of getting a nice stretch into the muscle, or you want to kind of go across the muscle fibers and you're kind of breaking down into the knots a little bit more. Can you feel the difference in the sensation when I do that?
Yeah.
So this is almost like me stretching this muscle here with the wrong way. This is me kind of breaking down the knot in there as well. Feel that you're quite tired a few of these muscles in the upper back and shoulders as well. But this is why with a lot of our treatments as well, sometimes we do get female patients ask the other female practitioners, is it nerves about being undressed and things, but actually the vast majority of the appointment, as you've seen, you can do while patients are dressed.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's even better because when we're using a lot of these machines, they actually glide better over the fabric than over the skin, for example, as well. So it can be nice for very comfortable and soft tissue. And a lot of patients always ask me, what were you doing before these machines came along? And, you know, a little bit of elbow grease and whatnot. Probably just meant we were more tired at the end of the day than the machines.
Yeah.
When they came to help us out. I'm just going to switch one of the attachments now to a slightly softer one. So this one's quite soft, but it's not quite spongy, but it gets into the muscles quite nicely. There's a few different attachments. This next one we're going to use on your neck is really nice because it's super soft and spongy. Do you mind if I get you to hold your hair up there for me for a second, if that's okay? So let me know again if it's too much, but I'm sure you'll find it's quite a nice sensation. How's that?
It feels great.
All right. Quite nice because you can just kind of glide over more bony areas like I am now, like the scapula and the shoulder blade. And obviously, like I said, it doesn't feel that comfortable or painful in any way, does it?
Yeah, it feels very nice.
How was that, okay?
Yeah, nice.
Perfect. And relax for me. So, that's the majority of the hands-on treatment done for today's first appointment. So we've loosened up a lot of the muscles, released a lot of the pressure in the joints. What I'm going to do by finishing up the appointment now is going through some hands-off advice, some good stretches.
Okay.
Now with the stretches, it's a nice thing for patients to be doing in between appointments just to carry on a lot of the benefits of the actual hands-on treatment. But also you can use it as a bit of a diagnostic tool, because if you always notice you're doing the stretches at certain days or certain times in the day, like you're always noticing you're stretching more on Tuesdays and Thursdays, oh, that's the day you go swimming. You notice there's an issue with the swimming. Maybe you always feel like you're doing the stretches more in the morning. Maybe there's an issue with the way you're sleeping. So they still have like a bit of a diagnostic benefit. Now with you today, there's 3 stretches I'd like to show you for the neck and the upper back. 1 for the mid-back area, okay? So the first ones, we're going to show you on the right side. First thing, arm nice and low into your lower back. Now you're not leaning into it, but you're just trying to depress that shoulder blade very slightly, which is where a lot of these muscles attach to. Then, gently, head down for me, very slightly there. Now, turn the head. Not so you're looking over the shoulder, which you can do fairly easily. Play around with the angles, but there, diagonally. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Bring this hand up for me, over the top of the head, here. Now what I want you to do is use this hand to pull your head forwards in that kind of diagonal direction, almost nose to armpit. Can you feel that nice little stretch on the back of the neck? Like I said, it doesn't have to be a big stretch yet. We can always kind of make it more advanced later, but just a nice way of opening up that muscle. Don't hold the stretch for too long. I would probably recommend only holding the stretch for 6 to 10 seconds. You can do 2 or 3 reps, and then over the course of the day as many times as you need. But yeah, don't actually hold the actual stretch for too long. Then, keep your head in this position, and all you do is you move your hand a bit more onto the side of the head. Now you're pulling a bit more across, a bit more ear to shoulder. Can you feel how the stretch is slightly different now?
Yeah.
It's just targeting a slightly different muscle, so more the trapezius muscle, whereas the first one was more levator scapulae. And how does that feel?
It was really nice.
Nice, good. And then the last one, head back into the middle. This one's a little bit more confusing. Tilt the head back slightly. Now you move the hand almost onto the side front of the head. And gently, you just want to lean your head back. What I normally tell patients is ear to the sky. Can you feel that stretch more in these muscles here in the front of the neck now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice, 6 to 10 seconds, not too long. If obviously you were feeling any pain here on the left side, you would stop.
Okay.
That'll do. Relax. And then obviously, yeah, you would repeat that on the left side as well. But at the minute, you might find you're stretching the right a bit more, knowing that's the tighter side.
Okay.
Happy with that? And then the last stretch for today. Now this stretch is actually primarily for the chest area. So even though that you're going to feel the majority of the stretch here, the secondary benefit you're getting, which you're not necessarily kind of feeling while you're doing the stretch, is it's just helping to kind of squeeze those shoulders and pinching them back. So again, naturally, you always feel more comfortable having the shoulders back and working from a much more neutral position, rather than finding yourself in that hunch position too often. So the best way to do this stretch is if you come to a door frame like this, key thing, palm and forearm touching the door frame.
Okay.
I'd also start with roughly fingertips level with your eyes, but you can play around with the angles later. one leg forward just to take a little bit of pressure off your back, and then with your chest aiming straight into the wall, you just lean forwards. It's not a big push or a stretch, it's that nice steady opening, and like I said, the majority of the stretch will be here. You can then just aim a little bit more into the floor with your chest, just to hit the muscles in the shoulders in a slightly better position. You can then play around with having your arms sort of higher, wider, slightly narrower, just to get a bit more of a range of the stretch. Now, people always ask me, do I need to switch my legs? No, you shouldn't really need to, because you shouldn't be sticking your hip out. If you're thinking about it, it's just taking pressure off your back. I think sometimes people just like the idea of just feeling right to kind of swap over to the other side, which is fine. With this being a bigger muscle group, as opposed to the smaller muscle group stretches where I said only hold it for 6 to 10 seconds, this one, if you want to kind of do 15 to 30 seconds, fine. Bigger muscle groups, I normally tell patients like glutes, hamstring, quads, if you hold it for a little bit more time, it's fine. But a lot of smaller muscle groups that we kind of work on, you don't want to be holding the stretch for too long. You can still get to 30 seconds, but it's better to do it in 6, 10 seconds chunks rather than one steady hold of 30 seconds.
Okay.
Well, try that for me. Some key, like I said, is palm and forearm on the door frame. This door frame might be a little bit big for you actually, but not too bad either.
So eye
Yeah,
height.
that's fine. Eye height. One leg forward, just take a bit of pressure off your back, keeping your chest kind of aimed forward, and you just kind of lean into it nice. Can you feel that stretch I'm talking about on the top of the chest? Nice. Hold that stretch, like I said, for a few seconds, and then you can ease off, swap legs if you want to, start playing around with some of the angles as well.
Oh, that feels really nice.
It's a nice one, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, like I said, for me, this is a great stretch, not just to be doing short term, but probably a bit more medium and long term. Whenever you found that, even before you get pain, that you just have been sitting for a while, if you notice you've been getting a bit hunched and rounded, it's a nice way of working on things. So, and when you're ready, you can head back inside. So again, this one's a good one if you're someone that's a desk worker, if you have an occupation where you're driving quite often. Again, random example, but if you've got a patient who's breastfeeding and they're in this hunched position, for example, it's like I said, the same action, the same benefit, but you're getting that tightness for a different reason, and that's what we've got to work for you today. That's the end of our first appointment today. So hopefully, like I said, you're feeling looser and lighter and some of those early benefits. So what can sometimes happen with the next day after the appointment? Your body just feels like a little bit sore and achy, a bit like you've had a gym session after a while. Nothing to worry about if that's the case. Anywhere it might be a bit sore, just apply a bit of an ice pack. It normally happens because there's a bit of a lactic acid breakdown from all the soft tissue work we do, and that just gets you feeling a bit sore after the appointment. Normally it happens to most people after the first 1, maybe 2 appointments after that, because there's less tightness in the muscles. It's less common, but it's nice to warn people because some people get it, some people don't, and you just don't want it to be too much of a shock. Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask for right now?
If I'm going back to work today and using typing as normal, is it?
So what I would suggest is over the next couple of weeks, almost continue as normal. Don't change too much in your routine. So what you're going to be doing are doing the stretches that I've showed you. But like I said, over the next couple of weeks, notice if a routine or a habit builds up with the stretches. If you're definitely noticing you are always doing it more when you've been doing it at the desk, if you're always noticing it more in the mornings after sleeping, random example, like I said, if you're doing it more Tuesday or Thursday, and those are the days, for example, that you go to swimming. Because that will help you to work out potentially what your bad habits are, and then what you can do then is slowly start thinking, okay, I'm obviously doing something wrong there, I need to work on fixing my technique there. Maybe it's adjusting your monitor, maybe it's a case of not carrying a backpack on one shoulder, and obviously, like I said, you get the benefit of obviously doing more good stuff, but more importantly, less of the bad stuff as well. So that's what I would suggest. A couple of weeks of just getting on with the stretches, noticing if a routine develops, and then when we potentially have a follow-up appointment in the future, what we'll be doing is very similar to what we did today in terms of the treatment, loosening up the muscles, adjusting the pressure in the joints. But then what we probably focus on next time a little bit more is less so on loosening up the muscles that were tight and starting to focus more on exercises and starting to strengthen some of the muscles that are a bit maybe underactive and weak with you. Again, helping you to stay in these better positions that we're putting with you for longer. I always tell people no one's perfect. No one sits in a perfect position constantly all day, non-stop like this. Everyone eventually will slouch or slump a little bit. But the difference is once you recognise what genuinely a good position is, you recognise that you're slouching much quicker. So you're quite quick at adjusting yourself back into the better position. You don't get stuck in the bad position for too long, which is then when eventually things start tightening up, and that's when you normally start feeling the pain as well.
Okay.
Great. That's all done for us today.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
髪の毛後ろに流してみて。
ありがとうございます。
ちょっと失礼します。 じゃあいきますね。ちょっと消毒しますよ。OK、じゃあ針しますので、痛い針あったら右手上げてください。
はい。
大丈夫。
大丈夫です。
はい。
全然なんか
痛くない。
1回目はすごい怖かったんですけど、
うん、
もう慣れました。
さすが。いいですよ。まっすぐのままで。うん。 これでいつも通り
あ、はい、
10分15分ぐらい
了解ます。大丈夫です。寝ちゃいそうでした。
じゃあ針外しますね。じゃあ消毒しますね。OK です。ちょっといつもとりフェイシャルマッサージしてもいいですか？
ありがとうございます。
OK です。そう体もねちょっと
あ、はい。
この枕の位置大丈夫ですか？
大丈夫です。
なんか適当に合わせてくださいね。すごい凝ってる。わお。
多分姿勢がすごく悪い
って言われますね。
よく言われます。
なるほどなるほど。どうしようかな。手をねじゃあね気をつけにしちゃいます。両方とも。これ大丈夫ですか？
大丈夫です。
はい。おお。ね、いつも25分で撮ってましたからあんま背中触ったことそんななかったけどこれは凝ってる。硬いね。
確かに。
わかりますよね。なんか押されてね。
押されてる時はわかります。
ね、硬いかも。
背中ってなんで凝るんですか？
なんで凝るかそれはね、でも確かこれは姿勢かな。メリッサさんの場合はちょっと猫背気味になってるかもしれない。日常的になんか背骨がちょっとその形で固まっちゃってる感じがする。ね、この辺とかもね。辛くないですか？大丈夫？
全然辛くないです。むしろ気持ちいいです。よかった。でも凝ってたからこそ。
ねえ。これは凝っている。多分口呼吸になってる気がするから。
あ、今も
やっぱり呼吸が多分浅い人のねすごい背中してる。だからね、ちょっと鼻で呼吸して、もし詰まってなければねしてみて。
私最近呼吸がすごい問題で、なんか、なんていうの、呼吸しづらい時があります、たまに。
なんかね、この背中そんな感じ。
背中です。わかるのすごい。
わかる。呼吸がちょっと浅いかな。 してもらいますね。そのまま口にしてください。リラックス。戻します。 最後首に針だけ打っていいですか？首がカチコチだから。
本当ですか？
うん。ちょっと針します。これ大丈夫？
全く感じれない。
OK。よかった。ちょっともう一本。これちょっときました？
行きました。
すぐって抜きますね。うん。
でも良くなってる気がします。
わかります？ね
なんか軽い感じがする。
軽い感じ。よいしょ。ゆっくり吐いて、そう。吐いて、脱力。鼻からゆっくり吸って、そんなので目いっぱい一生懸命吸わなくて OK。吐いて、脱力。もう一度ゆっくり吸って、吐いて、リラックス。そう。ラスト3回だけいきましょう。吸って、そう、ゆっくり吐いて、リラックス。でラスト2回吸ったら、吐いて、ラスト1回、吐いて、脱力。OK。よし。はい、こんな感じで、ちょっと最後上向きになりましょうか。
やっぱ軽く感じます。
OK、乗せちゃってください。あ、そうそう、よし。OK。うん。ゆっくり鼻から息吸って、そう。はい、吐きながら脱力して、そう。息吐いていくときに奥歯の奥のギュって噛み締め、噛む感じ、もう楽にして、リラックス。そう。うん。そう、目もリラックス。うん。OK、いいと思います。
ありがとうございました。
Take a seat. This is the OCT. Have you had that done before? Do you know?
I don't think I've had the OCT before, no.
So it's OCT stands for Ocular Coherence Topography. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's basically mapping whatever it's taking a picture of.
Okay.
So in this case, it's mapping your fundus, so at the back of your eye, and your macula. So I'll show you the images after I've done them. So one of them's more for glaucoma, that's the optic nerve, and then the other one is more for things like macular degeneration, which is normally age related, so as you get older, but it's just good to have these things, and it's gives us a 3D picture, so it gives us a lot of details, not a photo. It's like a scan of the eye. So that's why it's really good. So if we do the scan first, just move it up a bit. You pop your chin in there.
Yeah.
There you go, yeah. And then forehead in the top if you can, because if I keep your head still, we get a sharper image.
Okay.
So let's just do this. Just takes a minute to turn on. Do you normally wear glasses?
I do, but not like 24/7.
Okay, you've just got a small prescription.
Yeah, mainly watching television, like when it's far away.
I'll show you the images here as well. So this is your optic nerve here, where the vessels go out the back of your eye. So it's really sharp actually, it's a good image. And basically with glaucoma, you have an increased pressure in the middle of your eye, and that causes damage to the optic nerve at the back of your eye.
Okay.
And it affects the thickness of the nerve fibre layer on your optic nerve. And if that thickness gets damaged and gets thinner, then you get a loss of visual field. So you start losing areas of your vision. So that's sort of what glaucoma is. And this machine measures the thickness of the nerve fibre layer all the way around the rim. So if we slide this over here, so this is a cross section through there of the thickness of the nerve fibre layer. So you see as I drag this over, it's a different cross section all the way around. And this is it mapped out, showing the thickness. And then over here, it shows the quadrants of the areas of the thickness, and it's got your thicknesses, and then it's got averages as well. So and that all looks really healthy and is within normal limits. So it's good.
Oh, that's good.
Yep. So that's that one, and then we've got your other eye here, which same again. That looks really good as well, and all within normal limits. So that's great. And
They
then
usually like equal them with both eyes.
yeah, ish. Yeah, not always. And then this other picture that I took or scan that we did gave us the best one is if we look at the 3D view. So if we slide this down and then if we make it a bit bigger, so there's your optic nerve there, which we were just looking at, and then here is your macula. This is where all your detailed vision is. So when you're looking at something and want detailed vision, you're looking through your macula, where all the highest concentration of the rods and cones are. So this is the bit that we're interested here, and we've got a cross section through it. So this is the layers of your retina. So if we slide through it, each beep when it was taking the scan was a cross section through it, and then it creates this block which we can look at. And then in a minute we'll get to the centre of your macula there. So that's where the detailed vision is. So if we look from above, that's where it dips. And that little reflex point is where there's the highest concentration of the rods and cones for the detailed vision. So that all looks really good. That's healthy. Same again with the other one. Let's have a look. Occasionally you get patients that come in that have vision problems, and then the centre of their macula has completely come away, and that's when they'd get, you'd know about it because you wouldn't have very good vision. Okay, let's just slide through this one as well, make it a bit bigger, rotate it. So again here, just going through the layers of the retina, and then that's the centre there as well, so that looks good. Richard will have a look at these when he does your sight test just to make sure he's happy with them.
Okay.
But that all looks really healthy. So if we look from above, you can see how sharp the vessels are there.
Yeah, wow.
So they're going out the back of the eye, and that's feeding the oxygen to your retina. It's quite cool.
It's
really good.
really
I know,
cool.
and it's
I
really
love
great
it.
showing people. Yeah. Right, that's that one done. So
Okay,
now we
thank
want to
you.
do the visual fields. So
This one back
yeah,
over
this one's a bit more boring. It's a necessary must. You've probably had this one done where you press a button for the dots that you see.
here. Yes.
Yeah. So let's do that. So this is the button here.
Okay.
Press there, and I can move this up and down. So you need to put your right eye in there first,
Yeah.
and then close your left eye. And you can use you use your finger just to
Okay.
hold your lid if you want, whatever's more comfortable. And you see there's a dot in the middle there.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a red dot, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a red dot.
Trying to remember the colours. So that's a red dot. So you have to always look at the red dot,
Okay.
and then press the button when you see a white dot anywhere else in the bowl.
Okay.
So it's only the white dots that you need to press the button for, and there's only ever one white dot, so you only have to press it once.
Okay.
Sometimes you're not supposed to get the dots, so just to let you know, there's not always a dot, so you don't keep pressing it.
Okay.
It tests your blind spot, and you're not supposed to get those ones. So it takes about 2 or 3 minutes each eye.
Okay.
So you ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Just started.
Oh, I didn't press in time.
No, that's okay. It's just getting the sensitivity of your eye to start with. That's good.
Oh, it's quite quick.
Yeah, a bit fairly quick. That's it. That's good. Okay, done. That's good. Didn't miss any spots. Did really well.
Oh, wow.
Okay, all done.
Feels like a bit of a game.
I know, it's sort of a really basic computer game, isn't it? I know. There's different. We've got another test which does it in a lot more detail over here, but that's only if you have problems with your eyes. This one's a bit more straightforward.
Okay.
So yeah, if you go the other eye, that's it, and then pop that in there. So this is the left
I might
eye.
be slow with my left hand.
Pardon?
Might be slower actually if I hold it with my left hand. I'll do this.
Just reach round. Okay. Okay, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. There we go. Just started.
Oh no. Oh.
It's okay. Keep going. You're allowed 1 or 2 mistakes. Don't worry. Okay, all done? It's done? Yeah, you missed 1, so that's fine, that's allowed. Yeah. Okay. Put that in there, save. Okay, this is more straightforward, so they looked good, the visual fields. So
That's good.
so let's just put
LISS.
yeah. Okay. Bizarrely, you have to put the date of birth in first, and then you put them in.
Okay.
That's done. Save that. So this just gives us a plot of your visual fields. of the different areas. So the centre of that cross is you looking straight ahead, and then you're sort of 30 degrees to the left, right, and up and down.
Okay.
So, and it's testing areas within your visual field, and if you miss a spot, then it highlights it.
So I missed that one, I guess.
Yeah. But that's one spot, so that's okay. And your other eye, it's perfect. So that's good.
Pressure after getting them all on the first time. I was like, too nervous.
Yeah, some people do get really nervous, especially with the visual field, if they've got glaucoma, because they don't want it to get worse. And the more you miss, the more it shows with the detailed, so it can take quite a long time. And occasionally some older people fall asleep when they're doing it, so they can't concentrate. No, so you have to keep talking to them. It's quite hypnotic, isn't it? Yeah. Especially if it can take 10 minutes on a detailed one if you miss a lot. So yeah.
But 10 minutes would be quite long.
Right, that's all good. That's that bit done.
Thank you so much.
That's okay.